Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Sharon Jones, and today we're going to talk about how to create a label in your Gmail. When you open up your Gmail account, you have lots of different options to begin to personalize and make it work better for you. So, on the left-hand side of your screen on Gmail, you have an option that shows your general mail options. You have an inbox, you have a starred inbox, you have a drafts, a sent, and you also have options for your trash and your spam. One thing that's really powerful about the way Gmail works and other email systems as well is it allows you to create labels and then send particular emails from particular individuals to those labels. So if you'll notice here, I've got a couple of labels on mine where I send information from this email goes to my Dottie Rose Foundation label, and that is coming from someone who is on my team. So I know that that email has something to do with the nonprofit organization that I run. So how do we do this? So the first step that we want to do is come over to our settings. The settings is the gear in the upper right-hand corner. When we select that, we're going to click on See All Settings. When we see all settings, you're going to see there's a variety of menu options at the top of your screen. What we want to do is click on Labels. Labels allows us to show on the left-hand side of our Gmail account under the Mail section the different labels that are provided. Now, on this, you can see some of the labels that are already pre-populated, as I mentioned before, the starred, snoozed, imported. If you don't want to see any of those, you can simply hit the word hide, and that will take that off of your screen. And then you click show if you'd like to bring it back. So down here at the bottom, what we're going to do is create a new label. And this label will allow us to funnel particular emails to where we want it to go. So I'm going to click on Create New Label here. And I'm going to label this Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. So a particular client of mine is Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools, and I would like for emails that are coming from that particular group to go into this label. I can also choose to nest this if I want to, but I'm going to say create. So now underneath here, I have my labels, Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. I have Dottie Rose Foundation, which is my nonprofit, DRC, which is Dottie Rose Consulting, which is the consulting business that I run, and a few others. And if you'll notice, these others are hidden, but I can always bring them back. I keep them sort of in and out of my inbox depending on when I need to look at them. Once I have all of that done, I can go ahead and click over here to my filters and blocked ad. Actually, let's do one other thing first. Let's go ahead and hop back into our inbox. And let me show you, there's a couple different ways that you can label your emails. The first is simply to search. So I'm going to look for Walter Hall. He is my contact that is out of CMS. All right. So here I am going to find an email from Mr. Walter. Here's one. And notice right here that there is not a color associated with this label. What you will notice is that above this for Cindy and Kristen. Well, Cindy and Kristen are key contacts from that client. And because I have opened their emails on a very consistent basis, Google has automatically shown that those are important emails for me and has labeled this with a yellow label as important because I've read those emails on a regular basis. Now, I can go in and change that if I like. With Walter, I am going to change this to be something different. So I'm going to select here. I'm going to use my little check mark, which that little box is called a check box. I'm going to select it. And then up here, I'm going to get a few options of things that I can do. I can move it to a different inbox. I can snooze it. I can mark as unread, all of those great things that are available. But what I want to do is add a label. So I'm going to click here on labels. And I'm going to choose Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. Now I'm going to hit apply. And now you can see that this has been labeled as Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. One more step that I do want to do is over here on the left-hand side, I want to give this a color so that I know that this is coming from Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. So now when I uncheck it, you can see that it's been labeled as CMS. And that way I can now identify whenever I click here on this particular label, it will then filter to all of the emails that are related to Charlotte Mecklenburg schools. So that's one way. Now, Google will begin to notice that you are labeling these items. So if you're coming through and just sort of, popping in and labeling Walter, et cetera, it has what we call machine learning, and it will begin to recognize that. However, if you would like to just kick it off so that automatically those emails are going in, you can come back over here to settings, see all settings, choose filters and blocked addresses. Now, underneath this, a filter allows us to filter information. So you can, just like when I clicked on the label that said Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools and it only showed what was labeled that, the same thing happens here. And there's a couple different ways that you can create a filter. The first, of course, is going into settings and then create a new filter. The other is, it's kind of a secret. You can go in this upper right-hand corner and do the same thing. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. So I'm going to click on Create New Filter. And what I'm going to say is I want this, anything that's coming from Walter Hall, I want to create that filter. Now, here's the thing. I can make this even more specific if I want to add in that has like a specific subject, if it has certain words or doesn't have certain words, or if I want to clarify, maybe I want to say that any email that's coming in that's greater than 1 megabyte needs to go into a particular label. You can do any of those things here. But what I want to do right now is I just simply want to say that if it's coming from Walter, I want it to go into CMS schools. So I'm going to click on Create Filter. And what's going to happen then is I'm going to get a dialog box. This is called a dialog box that allows us to choose what we want to do. So for me, I want to apply the label that it's going to go to Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. Now, here's the other thing. You could add in a whole variety of other options. Like if you've got emails that are coming from people that you don't want to receive the emails from, even though you've unsubscribed 100 times, you can also click on delete it. You can always send it to spam. You can choose any of those things by creating a filter. And you don't necessarily have to have a label to do this. You can just create a filter for whatever you choose. I'm going to hit Create Filter. And now you'll see down here at the bottom that it's going to designate anytime an email comes in from Walter Hall, it now will be labeled as Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. Super fun and easy, and helps you organize your inbox. If you want to create just a basic filter, you can click on Create New Filter. And again, you could say any email that came from maybe hello, or goodness, let me think about someone that I get 100 gazillion emails from on a regular basis. You could type in whatever email that looks like, hello@sunshine.com, whatever it is. And then you can hit Create Filter and then choose one of these to delete it. So anytime one of those emails comes in, it's deleted and taken out of your inbox. I'm going to hit Create Filter here. When that happens, you're going to see that it populates down here. If I decide that I don't want that anymore in my inbox, I just simply hit delete. And I say, okay, and it's gone. So in this video, we created a label that's here. And we also utilized a filter to apply an email to a particular filter, and also created just a basic filter to send emails in or out of an inbox or delete them altogether. So go and create your first label and see what happens. It saves so much time and energy because I know when emails are coming in, they're going to where they need to be, and I can filter them out very quickly. So remember, I can click here on Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools and it pops up. I can also click on Dottie Rose Foundation and my emails come up there as well. All right, have some fun with labels and filters. It was good to see you in the next video.